Hey, what's going on, guys? Coming at you with an updated deck profile that is very long overdue, and today I'll be showing you guys my Inzektors. So starting off with the Inzektor monsters, we of course have the Triple Centipede, the bread and butter of the deck. Basically, any time a card equipped to it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add an Inzektor card from your deck to your hand. Do keep in mind that it's not once per turn, and you can add any Inzektor card, including the Inzektor sword. So it really just sets up some of your next turn combos, or even that turn, sets you up for some wombo combos for some OTKs as well. Next we have only the 2 Ladybug. This is a card I usually like playing it free, but deck space is so tight, and you'll kind of understand that once I get further into the build. I really would like to play free, just to see it more often, and also to have more dark targets for Lord of Darkness, but really couldn't find the space. I feel like 2 is enough, especially with some of the level 4s you'll see here in a second, and Powerful Rebirth, which brings back a monster with a level increase of 1. So you do have access to rank 4s even without Ladybug, so I feel like 2 is enough. Plus it means you won't see it at multiples, which can kind of clog sometimes. Next one of Inzektors, we have the 1 Dragonfly, 1 Hornet. Really wish these cards would at least come to 2. I mean, there's no reason why they can't, because Inzektors aren't going to do anything with these cards at 2. I don't even think they do much with these cards at 3, personally, but, Konami just likes to make us wait on that, I guess. Then we have the 1 Gigamantis, and then the 1 Proxy Hopper. I do apologize for the proxies in this deck profile. I swear up and down that I never gave anyone this my Hopper or traded my Hopper, but I could not find it anywhere in my collection. But I did want to give you guys a deck profile because I didn't want to wait on that. But yeah, I do the 1 Hopper just as kind of an extra Inzektor name. It's a nice 1700 attack, level 4 to help you go into your rank 4 plays. The effect can provide to be useful sometimes, the one where you can equip it onto an Inzektor and then use it to attack directly. It's not too bad. The Gigamantis, of course, we use for some of our wombo combos, putting an Inzektor up to 2400 attack, and then also being able to bring back an Inzektor from graveyard when it's sent to the graveyard as an equip is really good. It's also the only one that you can just equip straight onto an Inzektor from the hand by itself as well, so that's very important. So that's it for the Inzektors. For our graveyard dumpers, we have the 2 Armageddon Knight and the 1 Mathematician. Probably would just play free Mathematician if it were still at 3. But the nice thing with Armageddon Knight, number 1 is level 4, so it helps you go into rank 4 plays. Also, it gets the effect to dump a dark from deck, even if it's Spell Summoned, so that's useful with things like Powerful Rebirth and Soul Charge. Also, it is a dark, which is useful for Lord of Darkness as well. Next, we have a bit of a Kaiju engine. We have the 1 Gamma Seal, the 1, I believe it's Homunculus, the Sticky String Kaiju, the 1 Different Dimension Kaiju, the dark one, and then finally the 1 Jizikira, the Star Destroying Kaiju. This one could also be the Thunder King Kaiju, which is 3300 attack. I'll explain kind of the reasoning for the different choices with Kaijus. The Gamma Steel and the Sticky String Kaiju are both your lowest attack ones that you can summon on your opponent's side of the field by tributing a monster. Gamma Steel, of course, is 2200, and then Strings is 2400. They're the ones that you want to summon your opponent's side of the field, especially off of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. And then these two, this one's 3300, so it's a nice beat stick to summon on your side of the field. And then the Different Dimension one's 2800. It's also dark, which is important with the Lord of Darkness. And the reason for playing the Kaiju engine is because Cosmos is this deck's absolute worst matchup. Basically, without this kind of engine in here, you pretty much auto-lose that deck game 1 because of Dark Destroyer not being able to be targeted. The deck has just so few outs to that. Also, just really good for Dark Planet as well, Forerunner, Chaos Max Dragon, which just came out, other annoying cards like Majesty, Speen, Cyber Dragon, Infinity, so on and so forth. So that's why the Kaiju engine is in here. And then for the final monster, we have the Triple Maxi. Just a really good card right now in this format, in my opinion. Pretty much every relevant deck, aside from Demise decks like the Special Summon. This deck is very combo-oriented and likes the OTK, so Maxi just fits in really nicely to try to punish our opponent for Special Summoning and trying to dig for our combo pieces. So that's it for monsters. Starting off with the spells, we have the Triple Twin Twister, mandatory at 3 in Inzektors, because not only can you use this to get rid of annoying back row that can give this deck problems, but you can also use it as a combo card, whether that's with the card you discard off of its cost, or just by destroying one of your equips to be able to get your Inzektor effects off. Next, as I mentioned before, we had a Tool of Darkness. Not a card I typically like playing in Inzektors because there's so many key Inzektor monsters in the deck that you don't like banishing. But it's not too bad to banish, say, an Armageddon Knight, a Kaiju. If you have like an extra Ladybug or Centipede, it's not too bad to banish. Also, if you have a setup play for Leviair, which you'll see in the extra deck, it can actually help set you up for some nice combos where you just banish, say, a Dragonfly or a Centipede off of a lure, and then you make Leviair and bring that back. So 2 lure overall, not too bad. Just this deck just really needs to draw power and consistency, honestly. Next for one-ofs, we have the one Inzektor Sword, only one. In my opinion, it clogs at multiples. You really don't want to draw the card, you really only want to search it off of Centipede. Next we have the one Foolish, we're dumping all the Inzektors we need into the graveyard. Only the one Kaiju Slumber. The problem with playing 2 is that if you draw even just one Kaiju, you already make the second one dead. Plus, I played a one Raigeki with it. If this card said send to the graveyard instead of destroy, it would be so much better. I'd be playing like a bigger Kaiju engine, but it does destroy, so like the Cosmos ships still go off. But it's still really good for clearing boards, especially good in the Burning Abyss matchup for summoning a Kaiju on their board. And then their Burning Abyss effects can still go off, but anything they would summon back off with, say, Seer or Graph would get destroyed with the Kaiju on board. So pretty good overall. And then the one Raigeki, pretty staple in this deck for clearing boards and trying to go for those OTKs. Next we have the one Soul Charge, just can be really bust in this deck, especially in your opening hand. Potentially you can use this, just wipe your opponent's board with Hornet, or just try to set up an unbreakable board on them as well. Then for the final spell, we have the one Upstart Goblin for some added consistency. So now on to the traps. Starting off, we have the Triple Powerful Rebirth. Reasons to play this over Call of the Haunted. Number 1, it gives your monster an extra 100 attack and also a level 1 increase. So that does help you go into some of your higher Xyz plays. Also, if this card gets destroyed, the monster doesn't die with it. Whereas with Call of the Haunted, the monster does die when Call of the Haunted dies. So the cool thing with that is if your opponent, say, blind MSTs, Twin Twisters, or Slipwires this, you can chain Rebirth in response, bring back the monster you want to bring back, and then when Rebirth dies, the monster will still stay on field and it'll have its original level. So that's why I really do like the Triple Powerful Rebirth over, say, Call of the Haunted. Next we have the Triple Solemn Strike. Obviously not the best against Monarchs, but as I said, Cosmos is a really bad matchup, and this card is just really good against that. Good against just about everything else, like, Pendulums, even good against Burning Abyss as well. So that's why I played the Triple Solemn Strike. Next we have the 2 Stormy Mirror Force. This is just probably the best battle trap this deck can play to try to protect the Inzektors we have on board, since it of course does not target and does not destroy, just bounces back to hand. Then for 1-up traps, we have the 1 Solemn Warning, because Solemn Warning is a good card. And then finally the 1 Vanity's Emptiness. This may seem like a card that conflicts with this deck with all the special summoning that we do, but this deck has so many different ways that can shut off Vanity's Emptiness on our turn, to where we really only want to use this as kind of a one-turn stun card on our opponent, and then we can just easily get rid of this on our turn, and then be able to go off from there. Or we can, if we really want to lock down our opponent, we can go into a Master Key Beetle and lock it down with Key Beetle's effect. So that's it for the main deck. Total of 40 cards. It's 19 monsters, 11 spells, and 10 traps. Now on to the extra deck. So starting off for rank 3s, we have the 1 Dante. I usually just played Leviathan Dragon in this slot because back when I actually played this deck, Dante was like a $30-40 plus card. But of course Dante now has been reprinted in the Mega 10, reprinted in Gold Series as well, so it's a pretty cheap card. It's just better because it gets to 2500 as well, puts itself in defense mode after it attacks, so it's a nice 2500 butt. And then milling the free cards can be pretty good if you mill an Inzektor and then have something to revive them with, so it can set up some combos. Next, as I mentioned before, we had the 1 Leviair for bringing back banished bugs, whether off of Lure Darkness or off of things like Cosmojo. Next, we have the 1 Mech-equipped Engineer. This is for protecting our bugs from battle or card effects for a turn. Just overall, being able to protect the Dragonfly is really key to be able to go off with your combos. Next, we have the 1 Acid Golem, just a nice beater that we can use as an out to Majesty's Fiend. Then for the final rank 3, we have the 1 Super Quantum Grand Pulse. If I owned the Break Sword, this would easily be replaced with Break Sword. The nice thing with Break Sword over this is that, of course, you can destroy any card your opponent controls, not just a spell or trap. It's 200 attack points stronger. Plus, destroying one card as well, like a Scrap Dragon effect, can be pretty good for you if you just say destroy one of your equips, and then you can get its effect from there. But the Grand Pulse is a decent replacement just for popping macro. For rank 4s, starting off by the 1 Abyss Dweller, obviously for locking down those graveyard effects. Really good in combination with Portent if you can get that combo going. The 1 Castel for spinning annoying cards back to the deck. The package of Utopia and Utopia Lightning for getting over big annoying monsters like Chaos Max Dragon, Dark Planet, Dark Destroyer, so on and so forth. Then for the final rank 4, we have the 1 Master Key Beetle, good for locking down Veins Emptiness, and also some side deck Floodgates as well. Also can be used for protecting the bugs, similar to Mech-equipped Engineer. Then for rank 5, we have the 1 Durendel, just a really good stable rank 5. The 1 Exostag, just kind of an Inzektor themed version of Silent Arc in a way. This can actually get really big, since you can equip things like Gigamantis and Zectaliber onto it, since it does have Inzektor in the name. And then it gains half the attack of whatever monster you take from your opponent's field or graveyard. So this card can just get really, really big, really fast. Then we have the 1 Volcasaurus for popping opponent's monsters and burning them. Also just combos off nicely with Gaia Dragon. The 1 Shark Fortress, one of our main OTK facilitators for getting the double attack on, say, something like a Dragonfly or Centipede that's boosted up to 3200 off of Gigamantis and Sword. Then for the final extra deck monster, we have the 1 Gaia Dragon, which I currently do not own, but Gaia Dragon is just the best for being able to overlay on top of your rank 5s, especially Volcasaurus. So that's it for the extra deck. Now to wrap it up with the side deck. Starting off, we had a 2 Effect Veiler, really good against rogue matchups, good against Monarchs, good against Pendulums. Just in general, really nice for the fact that we can draw it off of Max C as well. Next, we had a 2 Flying Sea, pretty good against the Burning Abyss matchup, PK Fire. You could actually play Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries if you want, especially since I play Dante in the extra deck. But I find Flying Sea, honestly, to be just as good. It just completely locks them out from their extra deck, and they have to find a way around it to be able to play the game. And again, it is something that you can draw off of Max C. Next, we have the double MST, there for those really back row heavy matchups, like the Demise decks, for example. Also, similar to Twin Twister, can be a combo card for you as well. Next, we have the 2 System Down for the Cosmo matchup, since things like Raigeki and the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber aren't that great against them. Next, we have the triple Master Restrict, of course, for the Monarch matchup. The 2 Chaos Shrapple, which we would side out Solemn Strike Spore and the Monarch matchup because of Return. Then for the final side card, we have the 2 Imperial Iron Wall, mostly for Cosmos, also good against Monarchs as well. So that is it for this updated deck profile for Inzektors. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.